So let us start with the payroll training. So this is what we are going to have. Just a minute. Just I will reshare my screen. I think my screen has got stuck. Okay. Just once you can confirm my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. So it would be 17 to 18 days training where we'll be having 90 minutes of training per day, and each day's agenda I have divided and I have put it into an presentation. So this is what we are going to cover on day one, then day two. What are the various things we'll cover? I think the agenda is with all of you, right? What are we going to cover? Correct?
Yes, it was shared to everybody.
Yes. So if you find anything which is missing in this presentation, please do let me know. So I can add it and we can discuss it during the session.
Okay.
So these are the various things which we are going to cover, and this is going to be going till day 18, where till day 17 we'll try to finish each and every topic which we are going to discuss, and day 18 we'll keep it for maybe doubt solving or clearing session. So there might be some things which might have come up on the instance which we are trying to do, or maybe there are some assignments which I would be giving to you in order to test whether the things are going correct or not. You are able to understand what I am telling you. So if we are missing any assignments that we did not check or we did not solve any doubt in the session, then we have a day 18 where we can cover those things. So we'll note it down if anything is remaining. So we have a day 18 where we can just cover all the things which are remaining as what doubts were raised in the session, and if those were not clear we'll cover up here. Okay. So let us start with day one. So what we are going to cover today is on this day one is what is legislative data group. I'm sure most of you might be aware what is legislative data group. And so this is very important thing when you are implementing payroll, or if you are even implementing absences on the system. So this becomes a very important feature, legislative data group. We'll look into this, what is this and how this is created and configured. Then we'll see what is managed legal entity HCM info. How do we attach what is the legislative data group to our legal entity? So there could be a scenario where you have multiple legal entities in different countries, and you are required to create multiple legislative data groups, and according to that, that is attached to different legal entities which are available in different countries. So how do we attach it? Then we'll look at configure payroll legislation. So by default in Fusion, Oracle Fusion, there are some legislations which are by default supported by Oracle. So if we want to check the legislation which we are implementing, is it supported by Fusion or not? If we want to check that, we can go to configure payroll legislation and we can check whether the legislation which we are implementing is supported by Fusion or not. Supported by Fusion or not, that means you have different calculations which are specific to a legislation. Now, whether that calculations are by default available into the system or not. So that we can check if in the configure payroll legislation, the legislation which you are implementing is supported or implemented, then you will have that features by default available into the system. Then we will check what are managed bank branches and accounts. If there are any bank branches and accounts we need to create, how do we create it? And then comes your manage organization payment method. So what are the different organization payment methods which are required in order to pay to an employee? So for paying an employee, you can have an EFT payment method, you can have a cash payment method, you can have a check payment method. So we are going to look into that as well. Okay. So let us start. Just a minute. Let me just log in into the instance. So this is the instance, this is the demo instance which we are going to use during our training. So I just wanted a small confirmation. Are you going to use this same instance for doing all the testing or whatever has been completed in the Fusion for your understanding and uh, your practice? Are you going to use the same instance, or do you have another instance where you are going to uh, try and perform various tasks which have been completed into the training? How are you going to do it? Just I wanted a small confirmation. Hello, 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 hello.
Yeah,
Am I
hi.
audible?
Yes, 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 you are. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
So can you just give me a small confirmation? How are you going to do what practice of
We
the?
will, yeah, we'll use this instance, right? We have discussed earlier that we will be using your demo instance.
Okay,
Right?
just give this confirmation to Bhaskar as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because this instance gets refreshed every week or twice a week.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
We
that's fine.
spoke already actually on this. Yeah.
Okay, you have already. Okay, no problem.
Right, thanks.
Sure. So I'll just log in into this instance. You have access to this instance, right?
As of now, we don't have an access.
As of now. Okay. Okay, I'll ask Bhaskar to provide you the access.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So once you log in into the system, you will be navigated to the home page of this. Now, in order to see any task related to payroll, running of payroll, and other things, you will be able to see under My Client Group. And under My Client Group, you will be able to see payroll. So this is generally for the payroll admin, from where he will be able to run payroll of an employee. If he want to check, if he wants to check any result for an employee, he'll be able to come here and check what are the different payroll runs and what are the results for that particular employee. Or if it is a bulk of employee, if he has run payroll for bulk of employee, what is the flow which he has submitted, and how many employees have payroll successful, how many of them have gone into error. So he'll be able to come and see you. So this is the screen, payroll screen, where payroll admin will be able to see different things. So he'll be able to see what are the element entries of an employee. If he wants to adjust individual balance for an employee, he'll be able to see that. Then if you want to see the calculation and recalculation cards attached to an employee, if he wants to see costing of a person, payroll relationship, personal payment method, pay slip, he'll be able to see different things. He wants to run a payroll, he will be able to run this payroll. We'll be covering all of this during the session. If he wants, there are some administrative tasks as well. So we'll be seeing all of this as well. One of the tasks which we'll discuss today is organization payment method. Let's see. And other way for navigating to the other task as an admin. So what you have to do once you come to the home page, we click on this icon. We go to setup and maintenance. Now this setup and maintenance area is available to the implementation users or the admins. So this is based on the role. So if you have an implementation user role assigned to you, then you will have this area of setup and maintenance available to you. We go to search. This is a global search area. Now, whatever task which we are going to perform into the system will be available here. So the first task which we are going to see is manage legislative data group. If you see manage legislative data group. So this is the first task, or you could say if you are implementing payroll, this is the prerequisite which should always be available, that you should have a legislative data group available to you, because any task which you perform in Fusion for payroll, the first thing it will ask you while performing any task is what is the legislative data group against which you are performing this task. So it is very important to have this created before you implement any payroll. So it is important to have legislative data group available. So here you will be specifying against which country we are implementing payroll, against which legislation are we implementing the payroll. Now, for that particular country, if the payroll is already implemented or not, we will be able to see through a different task. But here you will specify against which country I am creating this legislative data group. So whatever task you perform, now whatever task, in the sense, if you are creating an element, there you will be asked to specify the legislative data group. If you are creating a payroll, then there it will be asked for which legislative data group you are creating the payroll. If you go to modules like absences, now if absences, if you are creating a plan, if you are creating a type, absence plan, if you would be aware about that. So there also it will ask you what is the legislative data group against which you are creating this. So it will club entire configurations which you are doing. It will be clubbing this against this legislative data group, and this legislative data group is attached to your legal entity. So your legal entity will have this legislative data group attached, and while an employee is hired for an legal entity. So if you see the connection, employee is hired for a particular legal entity. A legal entity has legislative data group attached. So what will happen by default, whatever configurations you have done, absences, absence plan, absence type, whatever elements you have created, payroll. Now this all will ask you what is the legislative data group against which you are creating. So what will happen, an employee hired under a particular legal entity will have this all the configurations available. So it will have the payroll, which is under the legislative data group attached to the legal entity. It will be able to see absence plan and absence types against the legislative data group which is attached to the legal entity in which he is hired. He'll be able to see different elements into the system for the legislative data group against which legal entity he is hired. So are you clear what is this legislative data group? It is very important to do all your configurations in payroll, in absences. If you are doing any configuration, then legislative data group is an important step here.
Right. So this is something that is common for it can be a common thing for multiple legal entities within one country.
Yes, it can be common. Here again, one more thing, what you specified the legislative data group is your cost allocation structure. So whatever is your cost allocation structure, which you create into the Fusion system, you assign it to the legislative data group. So your costing structure will also be defined at the legislative data group, and it can be common against your multiple legal entity. You're correct. Yes. So there are different, let's say for an organization, there are 3 legal entities. And for all the 3 legal entities, your payroll is common. Your elements, all the elements are common. But you have 3 legal entities. You can create a single legislative data group. You can create a single payroll, all the elements against that legislative data group. And then what you can do is you can assign that legislative data group to all the 3 legal entities. So you can do that. Okay. So let us create a legislative data group. So it will ask you for 4 things. What is the name? So let us give it as QA, President Qatar. Then we specify the country. So the currency will come by default once you specify the country. And if you have any cost allocation structure defined, we can specify it here. Or what we can do for initial starting of creating a legislative data group, we can keep it as blank, as we are in the initial configuration and we are not the cost allocation structure is not yet finalized. If that is the case, then we can keep it as blank as well. So anyways, at the later part of the sessions, we are going to look at the costing part as well. So during that stage, we'll create the cost allocation structure and we'll come back to this legislative data group and attach this costing structure. Okay, for now we'll leave it as blank and we'll fill the other things. So what did we fill? We fill the name, whatever is the name of the legislative data group. We specified what is the country, that is Qatar. And by default, based on that country, your currency popped up. Okay, is it clear?
That's fine.
Yeah. So let us click on submit. Okay, there is a legislative data group which already exists. So let us give a different name. Let us give LDG only then. Let us click. Yes. See here, not to be created. There was already one there. So this QA LDG is created. Now, once this legislative data group is created, the next step which comes after this is assigning this legislative data group to a legal entity. So how do we assign this legislative data group to a legal entity? So in order to have all the configurations which we have under this legislative data group available to a particular legal entity, we have to assign this to a particular legal entity. So let us go. In order to assign this legislative data group to a legal entity, the task which we are going to do is manage legal entity HMM. Let's go here. So let us search for some legal entity. Let's see if there is something related to Qatar. Okay, this is Qatar legal entity. Now we came to this page and we searched for a legal entity. Are you guys aware about how to create a legal entity in Fusion system?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know about others. I think probably you can just show us the form, how that form looks like.
Okay. So let us do that. So we'll go to manage legal entity. Yeah, so see, if you want to create a new legal entity, we searched for manage legal entity. And going into manage legal entity, it will open that form. And here you will be able to specify all the things. Creating it. Okay. Whatever would be the name, specify the legal entity identifier. Now, whether it's just a legal employer or it is a PSU always. If it is a PSU, that means you are running payroll against this legal entity. If it's not an PSU, then payroll for this legal entity is being ran by some other legal entities. So if you click only legal employer, let me give some name.
Can you tell again about PSU, please?
For the
PSU, payroll. Yes.
See, if you let me just specify the legal entity identifier, and I'll tell you more about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just give some address. Can you help me with some address?
You can write anything.
Okay. Let us keep this one.
Take anything.
Okay. Now see, if I'm clicking on legal employer, it is enabling. Before, if you see, this was grayed out. Before this, payroll statutory unit was grayed out. Now, if I click on this PSU, now see, it will gray out again. That means if you are not giving this legal employer as a PSU, that means you're not running payroll for this employee, for this legal entity. For this legal entity, some other legal entity or some other PSU is running payroll. If that is the case, then what you have to do is you have to specify which PSU will be running payroll for this.
Okay.
So current in our scenario, we'll have this for a single legal entity. We'll have that as a PSU only. So what I would like is when we meet tomorrow in the session, maybe if you guys can create one legal entity by your own, and then whatever different tasks which we are going to perform, if you could specify all of that, I think that would be great.
Can you just briefly tell like what is the functionality of this PSU? What happens like if we don't check this PSU, we cannot process the payroll?
For this legal entity, it would be a different. It would be if you do not specify PSU here. First of all, you'll not be able to specify the legislative data group here for this legal entity. If you're not going to specify the legislative data group, how the PSU, how we will add the payroll for this? So it will be a different. There would be a different PSU which will be available, and that PSU will run the payroll for this legal entity. So if you do not specify PSU here, if you go to legal entity HCM info, you will not be able to see your PSU as an option there. So when we go to that legal entity HCM info, I will show you. that option will not be available, where you specify the legislative data group, which is required for this legal entity.
So if we have a legal entity that is not a legal employer and that is not a PSU, but there are departments, under that legal entity, and there are people under that legal entity. So
Yes.
those, the payroll cannot be processed for them.
Yeah, it would be a different company which will process payroll for them.
Okay. So that actually does not matter,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is why what if we are implementing payroll, so what we'll do is for this legal entity, we are selecting the PSU. So in order to attach payroll and check the entire thing. That is whatever payroll we are going to implement, how the process is done, all of those things. That is why we are clicking the PSU here. So what I would like is if you all guys can create a single legal entity, different legal entities, and if you could just fill this form and create legal entities, then the other steps which we'll follow, if you could perform that as well, I think that would be good. So create a single legal entity, maybe each one of you, or if you want, you can create a single legal entity as a group. So we'll use that legal entity going forward. We'll hire some employees under that legal entity, and we'll be testing payroll for all those employees. Okay.
See, as of now, we don't have the access to the system, so we will
Yes,
have.
yes. I'll ask Bhaskar to provide you the access. Or if it's not available to you by tomorrow, I'll create a single legal entity which we'll be using going forward. Maybe you could create a other one and you could do your practice and testing with that legal entity. For session purpose, we'll use this legal entity. So we'll go to the task of manage legal entity HCM info. So manage legal entity HCM info. Let us search for Qatar legal entity. Can you see the option here? Payroll statutory unit. Now this option will come up when you have specified that this legal entity is going to be a PSU. This legal entity is going to be a PSU. If you go here, so if you see here, if you come here, there is an associated legislative data group C. So here you will be able to specify what is the legislative data group you want to associate it with this legal entity. And then you have fiscal year start, whatever is your fiscal year start. If you specify this, then there are various balances which are available with your elements. And in that elements, you have dimensions related to your fiscal year. Now, if you are going to use that dimension anywhere into your formula, so if you have any requirement where you are supposed to use a dimension that is of fiscal year related to fiscal year, if you want to use that dimension and you want the value in that fiscal year, and then you have to specify what is the fiscal year, because if you do not specify the fiscal year, then your balances won't be coming up and you will not be able to see what are your balances. If you specify the fiscal year, then only you will be able to see what are the balances which are triggered when your element is processed. And even if you're creating a custom balance, now going forward in the session, we'll be seeing how to create custom balances as well, and how do you use that custom balances into the system. But in order to use that custom balances, in order to see it after your payroll has been completed, you have to specify fiscal year start. Why? Because in your balances, you have a dimension related to your fiscal year. And if you do not have fiscal year start, that dimensions is not initialized correctly, or those dimensions are not feeded correctly. So in order to have correct balances coming up, you have to specify whatever is your fiscal year start.
Is this
This is
YTD or is it something else? Is
no
it not YTD?
YTD. No, it's YTD is different. Fiscal year is different.
Fiscal year. Okay.
Yes. Fiscal year, calendar year to date is Jan to December, but your fiscal year may be different. It could be Feb, let's say Feb to Jan. It could be April to March as well. If your calendar year and fiscal year is same, still you have to specify whatever is your fiscal year start.
So
In
if we
order
don't specify, we can still use YTD, right?
Yes, you can still use YTD, but what will happen once you run the payroll, and if you want to see what are your balances which have come up, then you will not be able to see the balances, because in all the seeded balances, you have dimension of fiscal year. All the balances which are available, you have dimension of fiscal year, and that fiscal year are not faded up properly because you have not specified the fiscal year start. Anyways, you can use the calendar year to date, but in order to feed that balance correctly of fiscal year, you have to specify fiscal year start. What we'll do when we run the payroll, we'll remove this value and run payroll, and then we'll add this value and run payroll. You will see the difference. When you do not have this date here, you will not be able to see what are the balances. Once you have the date here, then you will be able to see all the balances once you have processed the payroll. Okay, so let us specify the fiscal year start. Let us keep it as Jan 1. So once you get the access, what you can do is you can first create a new legal entity. Go forward, create a new legal entity. Then go forward, create a legislative data group. Once you have created the legislative data group, then what you can do is come to this legal entity HCM info, add whatever legislative data group you have created, add the fiscal year start. And one more thing, what you can do is once you have, you all are aware about how do we hire an employee into the system, right? Correct?
I guess some of us do. I do, for example. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you can do is hire few employees and help the others as well. How do you hire a few employees into the system? So what you can do is hire some employees with the legal entity which you have created newly. So what we'll do is we'll use all those employees while running the payroll. Okay. And are you all guys aware about the absence module as well?
As a user, as an end user, yes.
As an implementation person, no, you have not created any absence plan types, never.
No.
No one of you.
Well, I have seen little bit, but not much.
So you have not practiced it, or you do not have any hands on that, right?
Yeah, not practiced yet.
Okay. Okay. I was into the picture that I think you guys are aware about the absences. How do we create plans? How do we create type? Because that is the thing we are not going to cover during the payroll training. But still, okay. What I'll do is I'll create a plan for you guys, plan and type, and maybe quickly I'll not tell you all the functionalities, but I'll brief you about some functionalities of absences. How do we create absence plan and absence type? Because absence payroll integration is very important. How do you integrate your absences with payroll? So if you have an unpaid leave applied for an employee, how do you show the deductions for that? If an employee is going on sick leave,
correct.
Then we have different scenarios. You have different slabs. For first slab, he is having 100% payment. In second slab, if he is having 75 or 50% payment. In the last slab, he is having only 0% payment. If a female employee is going on maternity leave, then how? Because these all integrations are important. These all absence plans are important in order to integrate it with payroll, because this information flows to payroll, and your payroll will be processed according to that.
Yeah, this is quite a good point. It's very important also to have this understanding, because we do have all the absences, different types of absences, and some are paid, some are unpaid.
Correct.
So it's very important to have this understanding. How does this thing work?
Yes.
So I
So
appreciate.
what I'll do is I'll brief you about this as well. So moving forward, we have a session for that, which specifies your absence payroll integration, how absence payroll integration is done during that session only. Or maybe if on some day, if we finish our sessions very quickly, that we cover all the topics very quickly, then what we can do, we can utilize that time in seeing some things related to absences. Okay. So let's move forward. Then once you have created your legal entity, now you created your legal entity, you hired some employees in the legal entity. Now you create a legislative data group, associate that legislative data group with your legal entity. How do you do that? You have this manage legal entity HCM info, where you will search for the legal entity which you have created, come to the PSU, payroll statutory unit, specify the associative associate whatever is your legislative data group here, specify whatever is your fiscal year start. Remember, do not go forward without specifying the fiscal year start. It is not mandatory while you are coming on this page, but do specify your fiscal year start, because it will feed your balance correctly. Whatever balances are available with dimensions of fiscal year, it will feed them correctly. So always specify fiscal year to start, even if you're not going to use that balance dimensions into your formula, but it is good that you specify fiscal year start, whatever is your fiscal year start. So here it doesn't mean 1120. That means your fiscal year will start from 1120. Here, only thing important is your month and date. So day and month is only important. You can keep it as 1120, you can keep it as 1119 or anything. Is it clear? Do you have any questions? Anyone?
I think it's okay.
Okay. So let's move forward. We saw what is legislative data group. We saw what is managed legal entity HCM information. We have one more thing. Let me touch that. I think I have not added that to the agenda, but it is very important. That is, whatever are the calculation cards which are to be attached against your legal entity. So that calculation cards. Now, if as an implementer in, let's say in EBS, if you have implemented anything related to Saudi Arabia, so if you go there, you have GOSI deductions, correct? Where if you are a Saudi employee, then you have some GOSI deductions which are to be triggered. It is 9% is annuities and 1% is SANID. And then you have employer hazards as well. So these things which are available with your legislation, now Oracle specifies them as calculation card. So these calculation cards will be automatically attached with you if you specify this, attach these calculation cards on your legal entity. So while you are hired into the system and you specify the nationality, then by default, this calculation cards will be attached to you. So whatever calculation cards are available on that legal entity, based on whatever legal entity you are hired and based on your nationality, those calculation cards are attached to you. So always remember one thing, while you are hiring an employee, always specify the nationality. Always specify what is the nationality of that employee. So if any calculation cards are attached at your legal entity, those will get automatically attached. Because for running payroll of any employee, you require at least one calculation card to be attached. And if payroll is implemented for a particular legislation, then there will be various calculation cards which will be available. So that calculation cards are nothing but calculations which are specific to a legislation. So if I take an example of Saudi Arabia, then Gaussian deductions. So let us go to legal entity.
I'm sorry, just a question on the calculation cards. You mentioned
Yes.
that these are, defined based on the legislation for which you're doing the payroll. But can we create our own, custom calculation cards?
Sorry.
Yeah, for calculation cards, firstly, can you sort of just explain the purpose of calculation cards? Because it's a new concept compared to EBS, where we primarily just work with elements. But can you just give us some background on the purpose of the calculation cards, how they work?
Yeah. So by default, these calculation cards will be available with each legislation which is already implemented. Now, how do you know whether this legislation is implemented or not? So we are going to see it through this task, which specifies configure payroll legislation. So let me go to that part first, and then I'll tell you about the calculation cards. Once we go on that calculation card screen, you will understand that what is a calculation card, how do you attach it to the legal entity. So let us see what are the legislations which are by default available. Yeah. So if you come here, now see, can you see predefined? Now this predefined means these are implemented by Oracle. Now once where you do not have predefined, that means these are not available by default by Oracle. These are not available by default by Oracle. If you see Bahrain, if you see, it is not predefined. It is not. Someone has created a custom payroll for this. Someone is going to create a custom payroll for this. Now, whatever you have predefined and implemented. Now, one more thing, if you see the update option here. This is not available. If you see, there is a cross with specifying logged, that you cannot do any changes to this because this is a predefined. This is already implemented by Oracle. And if you come here, you will be able to see what are the various calculation cards which are available for that particular legislation. So whatever legislation specific deductions or other things are there, all the legislation specific calculations are available by Oracle. So if it is a predefined in legislation which is already implemented by Oracle, then you will have various calculation cards, various calculations which are specific to this legislation will be available here.
These are what elements, the calculation components?
Yes. Against this calculation cards, you will have elements which will be attached, and against that elements, you have calculations available. If I go to Qatar, if we come here, it is also predefined and it is implemented. If we, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Come to calculation card. These all are the calculation cards which are available as a Qatar legislation. Social insurance, employer, gratuity details, court order details, social employer, then your gratuity details and social insurance details. Now, if this calculation cards, in order to be attached to employee by default, then what will happen is, in order to have this calculation cards attached to the employee by default, what you have to do is attach this calculation cards at your legal entity level. Now, when you hire an employee, if you specify the legal entity and if you specify the nationality, then this calculation cards will be automatically attached to an employee. If you do not specify the nationality while hiring an employee, then you have to manually go and attach a calculation card. And unless and until you do not have one calculation card attached to the employee, you will not be able to run the payroll for that employee. So it's a mandatory step. You need to have calculation card attached to this employee. So this calculation card is nothing but your calculations which are specific to your legislation. So whatever are your legislation laws, if we have any calculation which is specific to that legislation, then if Oracle has specified it that it has implemented this particular legislation, then whatever legislation specific calculations are there, that all will be available as a part of your calculation card. And in order to see whether the legislation is implemented or not, you can come to this configure payroll legislation.
Are they fixed? Like we cannot add any new
No,
components or?
no. So this is what I told you. Okay, if you come here, we are not able to edit it. It is logged. Can you see that? If any new things come up, if any new law comes up into your legislation, then Oracle will implement it and give you. Why? Because it is predefined. So let's say going forward, a new calculation rule has come up as a part of legislation, and let's say Oracle has not updated it as a part of calculation card into your legislation. Then what you can do is you can raise an SR. What Oracle will do, whatever calculation which has come up as new as part of your legislation, it will add it as a calculation card, and then you can attach it to an employee and have that calculations. But we as an implementer cannot do anything, because if you see, this is logged area. We are not defining that payroll. Oracle has predefined that payroll, and we will not be able to change anything here. If you see others, we are able to update it because those are not predefined. The ones which are not predefined, we can change some things there, but ones which are not predefined, we cannot do anything there. The ones which are predefined, if you see, the update mode is logged. We cannot update anything there. So is it clear?
Dipesh, we have seen, in our implementation, in our environments where we see even the time cards that goes into the calculation card.
Correct. Yes.
That goes into the
absences as well as your time card. Both will go into calculation card. Correct. Those are by default calculation cards which are there.
But these are not here.
No, these are not here. These are related to your payroll components.
So how does that thing work? How does it goes through the calculation card? It doesn't go directly into the element entry.
Yeah, that thing by default will go through your calculation card only, absences as well as your time card. So your time card will also go through a calculation card, and that is a different calculation card. If you see, that specifies time card, which is a calculation card against which you will have your elements triggered to the system. So those both things are again with your calculation card only, absences as well as your time cards. And these are calculation cards which are available to you as part of your payroll.
Yeah, so these are basically legislative related information, right?
Yes.
For a country. So
yes.
yes. That will be
there in time card as well as absences, you can specify your custom logic as well, right? In time card, you can specify I am paying at a different rate. If overtime is generated in a time card, I am paying at a different rate. If there are any absences, there could be different rules for different.
So
Let's-
basically, if there is any change in the let's say calculation logic, if tomorrow some law changes, so we cannot go and make any change.
No,
We will
it
have
would be
to-
Oracle only.
it will be
Whatever
Oracle.
formulas, whatever elements you get against this calculation card, all of them are in the same status. That is, you're not allowed to update that.
Okay, so basically, you are not doing anything on this.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go to the, now whichever calculation card is mandatory for you, that it should be attached to an employee by default when an employee is hired into the system. So what you can do is you can go to manage legal entity calculation card. Legal entity. Now, if in the notes or if in the agenda, if you see word manage anywhere in the task, just remove that manage and search the task. Now, what has happened for some task, Oracle has removed the manage from the task, whichever task which are available. So the task which you have to search is by default with the name instead of manage. So previously it was manage legal entity calculation cards, but now it is legal entity calculation card. Okay, so let us go to legal entity calculation cards. Okay. Now, in order to perform this task, you have to take a different navigation. Again, coming to setup and maintenance. Now, why we need to take a different navigation, it will be clear to you. We have to go to manage implementation projects. Then here, whatever implementation, take any implementation project, that is fine. So just take this implement project 2 or implement HCM implementation project. Let us take that HCM1. Now here we'll search for legal entity. Legal entity calculation card. Open any one of them. Now, if you see in the previous screen, you did not have any scope to be selected. Now, this scope specifies that against which legal entity you're attaching this calculation card. So we are going to attach it against the legal entity which we want, that is Qatar. So let us go to select and add. Go to apply and go to task. Search. Specify. Click on this, click on save and close. Now see, no calculation card is attached here, right? Now what will happen if you do not have any calculation card attached here? So while you are hiring an employee, by default, no calculation card will be attached to this employee. Now, if you want that A calculation card should be attached to an employee when an employee is hired. Then what you have to do is you have to add the calculation cards here. And always remember, for running payroll of any employee, you must have one calculation card attached. If you do not have a calculation card attached, then it will throw an error. And it will not allow you to process the payroll. Okay, so let us add a calculation card. So always remember the date which we use in while creating any component in Oracle payroll is 1/1/1951. So by default, as a standard practice, what we do, whatever components we are creating into payroll, we'll do it with from 1/1/1951. So let us add here social insurance. So by default, based on the country which has been specified in the legal entity, it will show you different calculation cards which are available. Let us add both of them. This instance might be a bit slow, but because it's a test instance or a demo instance, this instance sometimes is slow. But when you go to a production instance, it is quite fast. What are the different things you have done in Fusion application apart from payroll?
We have done almost most of the HCM modules, like performance.
Instances you have used as
management and learn. Yep.
As an end user only, all the things which you have performed, all the tasks which you have performed. Nothing as an
mostly you see it is done by the implementers, you know, so we were just there as part of the project team.
okay. Now see, if you want to specify for employee social insurance details, if you want to specify any salary reference formula, by default it will take up on all your earnings. Now if you want to specify, no, it should not be on all the earnings, it should be specific, it should be on some earnings only. If you want to specify that, what would be the reference salary against which your employee social insurance is calculated, then you can create a formula and you can attach it here as well.
It takes all the earnings or only the basic salary?
No, by default, it will take all the earnings. But if you want to specify that it should only take basic salary, then you can create a formula and attach it here.
So earning means all the recurring earning elements, right?
Yes, recurring, not
the non-recurring.
Yes.
And that is on any specific periods or every month it takes the monthly amount? How does it take? Because you have two ways, right? You have either you're returning the pay value or you have the amount.
No, it is specific to a month. So whatever is the amount calculated during that month, it will take that.
So that's the pay value in that particular month.
Yes, you can say that.
After the deductions,
if you depends. If you want to, yeah, by default system will do that. But if you want to do it only on the complete amount, then what you can do is you can specify it in this formula.
So we have to write a custom formula for that.
Correct. You are right. You are right. Now, if from all the recurring elements, now if you want only some recurring elements to be considered, then you have to write a custom formula and you have to attach this formula here. So what we'll do is, while we are creating the formulas, we'll create one reference formula as well, and we'll attach it here. But by default, you have to add this calculation card here. It will not mandate you to specify, but yes, you can. Then again, let's go to, let us add the other one as well, employer gratuity details. Again, here in gratuity details also, you will have that reference formula where you can specify the reference formula.
When you select the calculation card for Qatar, there was many components there, but here it's showing only 2.
No. Yes, there were many components there, but here it will only show specific to your legislation. Other things, maybe those components are called, or you can attach it. You can attach it after, once you have hired the employee. Now, this we are only attaching it once when you are hiring this employee. So by default, this will be attached when you hire this employee. The other ones you can attach it. So those calculation cards, which the other calculation cards which were available, which are not available here, you can attach it to the employee after you have hired this employee. Now these two will be by default attached when you hire an employee. The gratuity one will be attached when you terminate an employee, but the other one, the employer social insurance, will be attached by default when you hire an employee.
It depends on nationality of the employee,
Yes, nationality of the employee. So that is what I told you, that it is important while you're hiring an employee, you have to specify nationality. If you do not specify the nationality, then the calculation card which is available on your legal entity will not get attached. If you want the calculation card to be attached to the employee by default, then you have to specify the nationality. If you do not specify nationality, you have to manually go and attach the calculation card.
So when the person is leaving, his gratuity thing will be automatically attached to him, right? It
Yes.
doesn't have to be manually attached.
No.
Okay, okay.
So for that, it is important that you have this employer gratuity details calculation card attached to your legal entity. So once the employee is terminated, this calculation card will be attached. And if you want to specify any reference formula or salary formula, you can add it here. The reference formula and salary formula, you can create both same formulas, but the output of this formula, the return variable, will change. For salary formula, there is a different return variable. For reference formula, there is a different return variable. So whatever based on the return variable, you will specify whether you want to add it to the salary formula or reference formula.
So for Qatar legal entity, we have to add for different countries for the calculation card, or
No. By default, even if you hire for a different legal entity, different nationality, employee for different nationality, then the calculation card will be attached. So there will be one calculation card which will be automatically attached to the employee. So it would be social insurance only. If they are not liable for the social insurance, it will not get deducted. But it is important that they should have calculation card attached. So depends on the nationality. If you're Qatari employee, and then depends on what is the percentage of social insurance which should be deducted. Let's say, if mostly I know about the Saudi Arabia, that if you're a Saudi employee, then you will have 9% of annuities deducted, 1% of standard deducted. But if you're not a non-Saudi, if you're a non-Saudi employee, then no Gaussian or SANID and Gaussian annuities or SANID is deducted, but the calculation card is present where you have that nationality present, and based on that you will have deduction. Because for running payroll, it is important to have calculation card. Remember that. Based on that calculation card, you have nationality specified, and based on your nationality, whatever are your legislation rules, that much amount of deductions will be available. Is it clear?
Little, I think so.
No problem. It will get more clear once we run the payroll of an employee, then once you start seeing the results.
Okay.
So this is about the attaching of calculation cards on your legal entity. Let us quickly move forward to creating bank branches and bank accounts, which are very easy steps. Let me go to the home page. It is taking time from navigating from here. Now, in order to create bank account and bank branches, let us go to, again, navigate to that global search area. Search for manage banks. Simple task. Just you have to fill different details. This will always be available to you. Creating a bank, let's say. Yes. Qatar. Name is, and then you can specify what are the different alternate bank name, then bank code. So these details will be available with you. If you want to specify any description, your ID, tax registration number, you will have these details available. If you want to specify any address for that bank, you can specify the address, and then you can, if you want to specify any contact details, you can specify the contact details as well. So it's very simple. How do you create a bank? So just specifying the country, then specifying the name of the bank, and then the other things which are already available with you. The only mandatory things are what is the country in which this bank is available and what is the name of the bank. Other things, you will have details available and you can fill it. You can specify address and you can specify the contact person, phone and email address as well. Once you have created the bank, quickly create the bank branch. This is done. So in order to create a branch, you have a straightforward option here, create branch. And then you can specify the branch name. And then again, different details which are available to you as a part of branch description. And if you want to again specify address and contact, you can add it. Now this address is you can create an address. Specify whatever is your country, and then you can create an address. Let's save and close. Then once the branch is created, let's go to manage bank branches. And from there, or if you search for manage bank accounts as well, you will be able to create it. Let's search for manage bank accounts. Manage bank accounts. Create a bank account. Specify the branch. Got the branch, whatever is the bank account name. Account number. Currency. Legal entity name. Now see, if you see, the legal entity is not coming up here, but still we need the legal entity. It is a mandatory thing. How do you get the legal entity here? So there is a task which we have to perform before adding legal entity here. Just give me a minute. Just let me quickly check that task. Just a minute, I do not remember the name. Just a minute. It has just slipped out of my mind. Oh yeah, okay, I got it. Remember it. So what you have to do, as the legal entity was not visible there, just you have to come here, and in assign legal entities, you have to just add the legal entity. Once you add the legal entity, that legal entity will be available to you when you're creating the bank accounts. So let us go to manage bank accounts again. Go to manage bank account. Let us quickly create an account. So it was Qatar. Account. See, it started coming up. There is a task which is assign legal entity. Once you add that assign legal entity, it will come up in the bank account. Then what are you going to use this account for? It is going to be payroll. So we'll specify payroll here. Payables and receivables is for finance team. They'll be using this payables and receivables account. We are going to use it for the payroll purpose. Okay. Click on save and close. And then this account will be created. Now this account number, we'll be using it in the organization payment method. So when we create the organization payment method, we'll be using this account number. So maybe the time is up. What we'll do is we'll cover this organization payment method and tomorrow's agenda together, because I do not want, we'll require some time for understanding of organization payment method because there are different organization payment method. So we'll cover it up tomorrow with the tomorrow day's agenda. Okay, is that fine?
Yep, fine with me, Kashif.
I think he left.
Oh.
Yes, there was a message in the chat. He has to leave for something urgent.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't know, Anan, Mazhar, what are your views? But do you think we can catch
it's
up
fine.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Better Kashif is here anyways. So
Okay.
yeah, that's fine. I think can we see tomorrow's agenda if you don't mind?
Yes, sure.
Can you share this file also, please?
Yeah,
Sure,
definitely.
Sure, I'll share that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Day 2 payroll cycle setups. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think hopefully we should be able to cover up tomorrow.
Yes, we will be able to do it. Because with that continuation, we are going to see other things. So I do not want to finish it very quickly. It will require some time.
That's fine. That's fine. Completely fine. No issues.
Okay, I'll share this file with Bhaskar and he will be sharing it with you. I've already shared with him. I'll ask him to share it.
Right. Okay then. So I think it's a wrap for today.
Yes. So if you have any questions, we'll discuss it tomorrow. No problem. Just try out different things which we did today.
Yeah,
I'll ask Bhaskar to yes quickly provide you the access.
Fine, that's fine. Okay, thanks a lot, Dipesh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.